Hello and welcome back to module number 5, section or part 2. And in this module, in this section, I'm going to talk about wireframe. We experienced wireframe in our second module, and now in the fifth module, we are going to look a little bit inside and see what it is and how can it help us to design better website. It is really important that you will not only understand the technicality of creating a wireframe, but also to understand the theoretical aspect. Why is it so important to have a wireframe and to understand that there is a structure or framework that help us to do that? I'm going to consist my lecture on two resources. The first is by Wayne Lim, and he present his presentation in Web Design Tutorial Plus, and it is quite a good resources where to begin and how to apply it. And the second is going to be a PDF from the government, which means usability.gov. And it's basically they give you some insight of how the government, not only federal government, but also city government, design the website and how they illustrate the structure about where everything goes, what do they do with navigation, what do they do with footer, and how to apply to it. So we learned last time about the header, the body, and the footer. And this is something that you need to remember because this is how things going to lay out for you in your wireframe design. The header is the first thing that the user want to see. The body is the following, and the footer is typically less important. So navigation bar in the footer is not a good idea. Otherwise, put the navigation above the header might be a very useful thing to do. So again, the issue of navigation is really important and how to apply to it. What I want you to do is get some inspiration. Yes, you see my face, you see my PowerPoint, but I want you to have outside inspiration because this is really important. This is something that every artist or every designer has to come up. What is the inspiration that give you the ideas to combine things together, or the color scheme that you are using in order for you to show something that belongs to you? This is really important. So the design process is organic process. That is the idea is that you need to think about how the flow of information that you present in your wireframe can go through the design process. So if you are designing the main home about services and contract, how the flow of information goes here. How can we apply and how can we structure it so it will be easy on the user to get the idea, get the points that he is looking or she is looking for without going to subtitles and subheads and looking for the information without any success of finding. So one of the things that you probably ask me again and again, tools. What tools are we going to use? What is your recommendation? There are plenty of tools, there are plenty of application. You need to pick up yourself. What does it mean to pick up yourself? Try them, see if it works for you, see if it is easy for you. Otherwise, don't. It's up to you to decide. My job is not give you directions. What is the I recommend? Because my recommendation is involve Adobe Dreamweaver and Adobe Photoshop. If you do not want to request the Adobe package, you can go online and search for wireframe tools, and there are plenty of them. This is just one list. I'm sure that I can pick up 10 or 15 other websites that offer that type of service. I have chosen Adobe Dreamweaver and Photoshop because this is my own experience. This is where I work and how I apply. And yes, the issue of Adobe and Illustrator might be difficult, but it might be also good. Um, let's start with Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Dreamweaver. And one of the things that is usually applied to is that it allows you to create something very simple without much efforts. And in this template, which I'm going to share with you, look, what we talked about in module 5.1 about JavaScript and form, here it is a form about sending the message and everything else. So it will be part of the thing that you can do and see that the issue of link and how it to disable and the issue of the search. All of that is part of your idea of how you structure your website. So Dreamweaver is a little bit more complex. First of all, you need to, I use a template, but one of the things that you need to make sure is that the site, and you're going to manage the site, and you're going to show what is it consist of and how to apply to it. And you're going to save it, locate the site, reports, site operation, advanced. So you're going to declare it as a new site and apply to it. Otherwise, it will not save. So one of the things that you're going to see when you save is that the site going to create one HTML, but then is going to create 3 tables. One table is the JavaScript that consists of script that by now you will be able to understand what it consists of. Images. In my template, there is only one image, and it is GIF, low resolution GIF format. And then styling sheet, and it consists of what it could apply to. So the Java, you can download the template, take it to your favorite HTML editor and start editing it and always testing to see if it makes sense. But it takes a long time. It's not a 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Do not do that day before submission. It will look bad and it will look at you that you did not do the work. So please spend some time on it because it will take some effort from your part. The second issue is maybe use Photoshop. And the idea of Photoshop is that it allowed us to create from a template a website, and it will give us a toolbar, but it will not convert it to HTML. So basically, he will allow us to create the design look of the website we are going to buy. I will say the title looks, and I will create some tools, and every time I will create the tools, he will give me some idea of what it is, and I will color it differently every time. And I'm going to share with you a video that outlines the whole procedure of Photoshop and framework, and it is by Mariel Angel, and it's quite good. And it's quite long, but it's still worth the visit and understanding how she works with Photoshop in order for you to create it. One of the things that Photoshop is really good is that after you lay out the framework, you can take each piece and break it down in order for you to generate separate images for each layout. So basically, it will allow us to create this, customize it, and then export it separately from the framework or the image that you are working on in order for you to export that. So you will do export, save as, or save for the web. He will save everything. You can take this, copy this to a new file, and you can customize it, or you can not customize it, and you can break it down to pieces by pieces. And again, this is part of a process. It's not going to take 2 seconds work in order for you to do that. It will take some time. I highly recommend that you will do that because it will give you a better sense of the structure, the framework, and how you construct your website. So this is the layout of, and it is important. And one of the things that I did not talk about is also logo. Think about the logo, maybe create a logo just to give some idea that will help identify your website from any other. There is a lot of structure of high frame can work, and what can you do with framework can work and how to do it. The basic idea is that after you satisfy with how the boxes are laid out, you drop a bit and you structure the structure of the information. How is the information on your design look and how it feels and how it makes sense to the user when they're going to see it. So, example, this is the logo, this is the introduction to the world's biggest application, free trial. This is the world that I come from. I used to create application, and so this is how they usually apply the design of the idea. So that's it for me. I know that I feel that I leave you in the dark, but I want you to start thinking about that. And your assignment is that you're going to create, first of all, you're going to create if in assignment in the JavaScript, you're going to create a HTML form and you're going to validate it. And in this assignment, you're going to create something that is really practical with the framework. Use the template that I'm going to share with you. Use the previous template. See how it goes and what is easier for you to customize. I don't want to see the same thing. Change color, add images. Do something that is belong to you, not to me. It's your work that I would like to see. It's not my work that I like to see. So I want you to customize it, make it your own, and I hope you enjoy the process. Until next time, have fun.